Governor Greg Abbott approves billions of new dollars for school districts. It comes at a critical time, but is it enough?
Districts will still be in a position to have to make some tough decisions.
With record funding on the way to Texas schools, why some worry the money falls short of the needs.
What began as harmless habit quickly spiraled into mental health crisis.
The plan to ban THC sparks a back and forth battle at the Capitol.
The only goal of these scare tactics was to frighten legislators and the public.
The message from opposite sides of the issue as they work to sway the decision over whether the ban becomes law. Governor Abbott declares victory in his push for bail reform, but opponents of his plan also claim a win.
From that perspective, we are very happy to say that we see this as an overall victory.
We look at why backers of bail reform say more needs to be done.
Produced from the Capitol in Austin and airing statewide, this is the award-winning State of Texas.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Josh Hinkle. This week, the governor signed into law what's being called the largest investment in public schools in the history of Texas. House Bill 2 would infuse an additional $8.5 billion into public schools. Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim shows us what this means for teachers and school districts.
Governor Greg Abbott is signing an $8.5 billion check. Money school districts say they desperately needed.
Texas is number one in so many categories. Texas should be number one in educating our children.
About half of the new dollars will go toward teacher pay raises, a priority for Governor Abbott this session.
Put more teachers on the pathway to being able to earn a six-figure salary.
For a smaller school district like Salado ISD, it means an $8,000 pay raise for teachers with more than 5 years of experience and a $4,000 pay bump for teachers with at least 3 years.
This bill will provide historic raises for our teachers here in Salado ISD.
School leaders have expressed their appreciation with this bill, but still some have concerns with the local control of these dollars, including one school district 300 miles south of Salado in Mercedes, Texas.
It doesn't really provide funding for the day-to-day issues that districts run across on any given day.
School leaders like Dr. Alicia Noyola hoped for a larger increase to the basic allotment, which gives school districts more flexibility on how to use those dollars. The structure of this bill earmarks those dollars for specific costs, a move supporters say will free up the basic allotment to be used for day-to-day costs.
To help out with those budget issues, there's $1.3 billion of this budget going toward that.
But Noyola still believes the new dollars will not be enough.
While we will have money for a number of programs, districts will still be in a position to have to make some tough decisions.
Dylan joins us now. Texas schools are getting an unprecedented amount of funding, but you've been hearing mixed responses to this bill. Who's happy? Who's concerned?
Well, in a way, everyone's happy, right? Because school districts are getting some much needed additional funding the first time since 2019. The governor is very happy because this bill goes after raising teacher pay salaries, and that was a huge priority for him in his emergency items. But when you talk to some of the school districts, I spoke to a few around our state, and they say, yes, we're happy with these new dollars. No one can spit at, even a $1 increase, but is it enough? There's a couple concerns there. One, they don't think that the dollars that are going in, even though it's $8.5 billion, is not enough to catch us up with the inflationary costs and the lack of funding from the past, 6 years now. And the second concern is that the way that finance is structured now, it ties these dollars, it earmarks them for certain purposes, kind of taking away some of the local control from the school districts. And that's what superintendents have told me that they're concerned about, is being able to use these dollars to pay for some of the day-to-day operations. Examples are like your AC goes out in one of your schools. How are you going to pay for that? So that's the biggest concern, but when you ask the governor about it, he says there is a new allotment, the ABC allotment, which is for all basic costs, and that should cover it. It was a $1.3 billion into it, but we'll just have to see as the school districts start getting these funds and they start creating their budgets, is it truly enough to meet all their needs and to help them catch up from this lack of funding.
Now, I want to talk about another education bill that you've been following, legislation to get rid of the STAR test. It's a big one we've been talking about for a while.
The STAR test, this was House Bill 4. When it passed the House, It eliminated the STAR test, which everyone, both Republican and Democrat alike, were all celebrating. No one seems to like the standardized tests that our students are taking right now. Same on the Senate side. But it really came down to a difference in how they were going to roll this out. And really, at the end of the day, the House never voted on the committee report. And it was a big question as to, well, why didn't they get to this? Well, Senator Paul Bettencourt, who took the charge in the Senate, he went to Twitter and said, here's the real story of what happened. And there was a push from outside groups, education groups, and some in the House who didn't agree with the changes that were made in the bill. And ultimately, it was never given a vote. If you speak to Representative Gina Hinojosa, she took to Twitter, actually quote tweeting Paul Bettencourt's tweet and saying, the Texas Senate thinks you're stupid. And was kind of attacked him and went after him and said that the version of the STAR test replacement that you put in your bill was just another 2.0 STAR test. It wasn't going to actually help our students. So at the end of the day, what we do know is that no agreement was made. Students will continue to take the STAR test, but you can rest assured that this will definitely be a topic of interest in 2027.
All right, Dylan McKim, thank you very much.
Thanks, Josh.
Governor Greg Abbott traveled to Houston for a ceremony to sign several bail reform bills. Making it harder for accused violent criminals to get out of jail was one of Abbott's 7 emergency items this session. But as Capitol reporter Adam Schwager shows us, some of the governor's proposals did not get through the legislature.
Governor Greg Abbott.
Thank you for being a constant advocate for
declaring victory on one of his top issues, bail reform.
The bail reform that I campaigned on and got passed is exactly what I want to turn into law.
The main reform Governor Abbott signed allows judges, like the ones in this building, to deny bail for certain defendants who are deemed either a flight risk or a danger to the community. The final decision, however, rests with the Texas voters.
This is going to pass overwhelmingly, and our goal, I think, should be around 90%.
While these reforms passed, a pair of Abbott-backed reforms failed, including a provision to automatically deny bail for certain repeat offenders and to automatically deny bail for people in the country illegally. Those failures led opponents of bail reform to say,
from that perspective, we are very happy to say that we see this as an overall victory.
And while Abbott was celebrating the bills that did pass, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was floating the idea of a special session to take another shot at the ones that didn't.
Whether it's in a special session or the next session, we will not stop until these criminals and these illegal immigrants who are here committing crimes and killing little girls under a bridge are put in jail forever and never let out on bail or bond.
Abbott says he fulfilled his promise he made to Texas voters earlier in the year, but did say that those failed proposals,
as Schwarzenegger would say, they're going to be back.
And we are not done yet.
In Houston, I'm Adam Schwager.
The constitutional amendment vote will take place this November.
It is one of literally more than 1,000 bills on my desk.
The plan to ban THC now in the hands of Governor Abbott. Opponents want a veto. Supporters want his signature, what he's saying as both sides push to sway his decision. From schools and healthcare to criminal justice and constitutional law, our team's investigation sparked legislation at the Capitol. We track what passed and what could come back next time around.